there, today I will be sharing 5 of my family's all-time favorite recipes using chicken. I know cooking with chicken could get a little boring from time to time, but these recipes today are so good. You're going to be wanting to make them week after week and you just won't get bored of them. Let's get to my kitchen and let's get to cooking. To kick us off today, we are making this garlic Parmesan chicken. I have a baking dish right here. Spray it with a nonstick spray. Now I have 2 chicken breasts. It looks like 4 chicken breasts because I sliced my 2 chicken breasts in half horizontally just to make them thinner so they'll cook quicker, and then this will help your chicken become super tender in the end. I'm just squeezing a half of a lemon over the top of the chicken, then season it generously with a dash of salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. Then go ahead and flip the chicken over and season it on the other side with those same seasonings. You could also use different seasonings if you'd like. Go ahead and set your seasoned chicken to the side. We're going to work on the garlic Parmesan mixture now. In this little bowl, I added 2 tablespoons of olive oil, next 3 tablespoons of melted butter, followed by a tablespoon of minced garlic. Then for the seasonings, I'm adding in about a half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper and paprika, then a half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, and 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Last thing, add in 3/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Give this a really good stir. Now grab your chicken and you want to spread this Parmesan garlic mixture all over the top. Try to do it as even as possible. Then this will bake in a preheated oven to 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes or until the chicken is cooked through. And as always, if you want to double this recipe for more people, you certainly can. You could also half it for less people too. But here's what it looks like out of the oven. My house was smelling so good at this point. Also, here's my plate of food. We served ours with a baked potato on the side and a little bit of steamed corn. This chicken is so flavorful. The Parmesan crust on the top just really elevates it, and the chicken is super tender because we sliced it in half horizontally. It really is amazing. Now we're getting started on this honey garlic chicken, and we're going to make the honey sauce first. So into this bowl, I added 1/3 cup of chicken broth, 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. I also added in a tablespoon of rice vinegar, and you can't forget the honey, so add in 1/3 cup of honey. Give this a stir. Of course, honey is thicker, so carefully stir it until all of the ingredients are well combined. But over to the pan on my stove, I added in 2 tablespoons of olive oil and a pound of chicken breast. I did slice my chicken breast into strips, or you could use chicken tenderloins. Season the chicken with a dash of salt and pepper and cook the chicken until it is almost completely cooked through. This recipe is on page 180 in my cookbook. You'll find it in the super quick dinner section. I have over 100 easy recipes in this cookbook. All of the recipes are super delicious and a little bit more affordable. But once my chicken's almost cooked through, I added in a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of minced garlic. Give this a stir until the butter has melted down and the chicken's cooked through. Now add that honey garlic sauce in, and if you want your sauce to be a little bit thicker, make a cornstarch slurry up. We were wanting thicker sauce on this particular night, so that is what I did after I brought this up to a simmer. My cornstarch slurry is just 2 tablespoons of water mixed with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Just mix it well so the cornstarch is not clumpy. Add it into your sauce, give it a stir, and once the sauce is to the thickness that you want it to be, you could serve this up. We served ours over a bed of white rice. This chicken is super delicious. It is really flavorful and my little ones absolutely love it. It's also a great meal if you want to meal prep it because it reheats really easily in the microwave, or you could of course just reheat it on the stove if you'd like to. Now we are making this ricotta chicken, so to get it started, I have my cutting board right here, and on my cutting board I have 2 large chicken breasts. Slice your chicken breast in half horizontally. It will appear as like 4 chicken breasts. This is going to cook your chicken so much more even in the oven. Also, your chicken is going to be wonderfully tender in the end. I set my chicken to the side. We're going to work on the ricotta mixture on the top now. It's just 1 cup of ricotta cheese, a cup of Parmesan cheese, and then add in a tablespoon tablespoon of minced garlic, and a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Give this a stir. If you're not a fan of ricotta cheese, you could always add in cottage cheese as a substitute, but I pulled out my 9x13 baking dish and add a half a jar of pasta sauce right in there. Now add your chicken breasts side by side over the sauce, and then over the chicken breasts you are going to spread the ricotta mixture that we made up over the top. Try to spread it as even as possible over that chicken, and then you are going to want to sprinkle about 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh basil, or I'm using semi-fresh basil. I like it because it stays in the fridge for a long time, but if you don't have fresh or semi-fresh basil on hand, you could add in a teaspoon of dried basil. Pour the remaining pasta sauce over the top, then cover this tightly with foil. Bake it in your preheated oven to 375 degrees for 30 minutes. Once it was almost out of the oven, I just boiled up some pasta on the side. Here's what it looks like out of the oven, and you could serve it up now. We just served ours over that pasta, or you could serve this over rice, cauliflower rice, anything that you like. I really think this chicken is going to impress you, and that sauce is like 10 out of 10. So good and ultra flavorful. You will absolutely devour this like I did. Now we are making this Mediterranean chicken bake. So on my cutting board, we're going to start out by cutting up our vegetables: 2 Roma tomatoes, 1 zucchini, then I diced 1 yellow onion. If you want to, you could use different vegetables, but I have my baking dish right here. I'm spraying it with nonstick spray. Then add 2 chicken breasts, and I did slice my chicken breast in half horizontally so it appears as 4 chicken breasts. But after I placed the chicken side by side, I seasoned it generously with a dash of salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, paprika, onion powder, and garlic powder. Flip your chicken over and season the other side with the same seasonings. Now that the chicken is seasoned well over the top, I'm just adding those cut up vegetables and spread them out. Then over those vegetables, sprinkle a teaspoon of dried basil over the top, or you could use 1 to 2 tablespoons of fresh basil, whatever you prefer. And then over the basil, sprinkle a 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese on top and a 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese. If you're not a cheese fan, you don't have to add the cheese. Bake this in a preheated oven to 400 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes. And here's what it looks like out of the oven. And here's my plate of food. This meal is so perfect for this time of year. It has so much freshness and flavor about it. That chicken is seasoned so well. This meal is absolutely delicious. My entire family really enjoyed it. And like I said before, if you want to use different vegetables, you certainly can. I think you're really going to love this one. Now we are making this garlic Parmesan chicken pasta. So I have 1 chicken breast that I sliced in half. Season the chicken on both sides with a dash of salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, and a little bit of flour. You don't have to use the flour if you don't want to, but the flour adds like a crispiness to the chicken after it is cooked. It really makes it super magical. Over to the pan on my stove, I'm adding in a tablespoon of olive oil and a tablespoon of butter. Once the butter melted down, I added my chicken right onto that pan. Cook the chicken for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Into this pot of boiling water, I'm adding in a 1/2 pound of pasta. You could use any type or any brand of pasta that you have on hand. Just cook it according to the package instructions. But I do only like to flip my chicken once while it's cooking. That way the crust on the outside forms and it is just so good. But once my chicken was cooked through, I removed it to that plate and I set it to the side. Into the same pan that the chicken was cooked in, I added in 2 tablespoons of butter, a tablespoon of minced garlic, and 3 tablespoons of flour. I gave this a really good whisk until the flour no longer looked white. Now add in a 1/2 cup of chicken broth and bring it up to a simmer. Whisk it super well so the flour gets incorporated in with the chicken broth and it is no longer clumpy. Now go ahead and add in 3/4 cup more more chicken broth, along with a cup and a fourth of half and half. Whisk this super well and bring it up to a simmer. You want to continue to whisk it until it thickens up and everything is well combined. Once it is a little bit thicker like this, go ahead and toss in 3/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Let that cheese melt down, and then you can add that cooked strained pasta into your sauce, and then you could serve this up. Doesn't this just look so good? I almost feel like you could serve this at a fancy restaurant just because it looks and tastes that good. This is like a lightened up version of a chicken Alfredo, but the sauce is still so rich, creamy, and divine. The chicken is like perfectly crispy on the outside. I did serve this with steamed broccoli on the side. Also, my new meal plan is still on a flash sale for this week. I am including so much into my meal plan for you guys. Each month you'll receive at least 20 recipes, shopping lists, 2 meal plan calendars, monthly bonuses, and right now you get my 3 ebooks included in this. I have so many more videos like this on my channel, so make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.